The Roving Patrol monthly report. I've had a lot of people say, well maybe not a lot, but a number of people say to me, what does the patrol do? Why do we have to have them? Why do we need them? Can we put this, since it has no name, no address, no phone number, can we put it on the website?
I don't see any issues with that at all,
Good.
because it has no name.
We'll send you a soft copy of it.
Well, if you're going to do that, we ought to write it in English. It's in some language that I don't
Need to condense it in some.
Well, it needs to be in English, and it's not quite there yet. A lot of these things. If we're going to put it on our website, it needs to be corrected for grammar and things like that.
Well, the safety committee was doing that earlier.
Okay, whatever. Do we really want to do that?
Well,
I look at this and I see that there are a lot of, I have similar questions, by the way, and I would hope that before the year is out, we might want to debate the overall. We sat in this room, or the other room, the earlier room, earlier one day last year, and said we really need to come up with some metrics to decide whether we're getting our money's worth for a patrol. Best of my knowledge, we haven't come up with any metrics yet. But, you know, if you look at the kind of things that our patrol does, or what the reports call, a lot of them are looking for people that they can't find, or I just wonder if we make a lot of money by putting this on the website right now.
well, it's sort of, I read it because it's kind of brings
citizen analysis on the website. And get
perhaps, yes.
name to the book.
5 parking problems.
Well, that might be a better way to do it than each of these line
Well,
by line.
that's what had been done before by the safety committee. They grouped them
Okay,
into
all right,
categories and
okay.
then how many
Okay,
fell into that category.
It
okay.
would be a summary, right?
Yeah.
Parking violations.
Well, that would be fun, yeah, that would be better.
Yeah, I think that would be better than putting this verbatim on the website.
Yes, that's fine with me. I just think that something needs to be out there so people have an idea of what's going on. And
It'd be in the newsletter too.
yeah, but not this month. Yeah, the reason I didn't suggest newsletter, Lou, is because it costs to print. But if it's small enough, that's okay.
No, this needs to be condensed.
I guess 2 comments. Let me get the second one first. You know, we still have a lot of advertising that's paying a lot of money. I don't know what the net is between what we pay for the newsletter and what we have for advertisements, but anyway. I think it would be good for the board to have a discussion also. I don't know what venue that should be. You know, as an example, if I do read this, and if I look down the responded by, in the whole month, there's only 2 responded by a supervisor. So while I assume that Zed is out patrolling during the day, I don't think he works at night.
He does work some months, but
Okay. Either everything is routine when he's on watch, because there's not any stop sign violations.
Well, no, he watched 13 violators on the bottom line on the 1st of November. He watched 13 people buzz through the stop signs. Your first page. Yeah, first page, last entry.
That wasn't Zed.
Oh, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. I read that wrong. Compliance administrator. I was reading the wrong column, I'm sorry.
And that may be fine, but I do think a discussion is something, and maybe it's...
I agree with you. I support that wholeheartedly. We really need to take a hard look at what our patrol is doing, how they're doing it, and is it cost effective.
The other part, the last part of my statement would be, a lot of what they do prevents what you don't ever hear of by being around. And that, you can't quantify that. So I throw that in as a very definite positive. We know what things were like when we didn't have a patrol, lest we remember. I think we have a lot less of those things happening, and that's because we have a patrol. So that's the value. And how you assess whether you're getting your money, I don't know how you do it.
I was going to say that in a very slightly different way, but the same conclusion is that if people read this, they'll see the kinds of things that people are getting cited for. And, you know, maybe some people don't read their rules and things like that, and don't know that you can't ride a go-kart on the highway. Well, they go up and down Lake Holiday Road.
I think though, if you put all of the detail in there, that we're gonna get into a debate in the community about whether this is piddling, and this is not the kind of thing we ought to be paying a patrol to do. I think that it's better to summarize it and say there's traffic violations, there's, you know, people using vehicles on the roads that they're not supposed to. Otherwise, I just think we'll get into a debate on the efficacy of the patrol. I don't think that's what we want.
No, I think the summary is a good idea, but I do think that we do have to, like, if you say something like that they're driving vehicles they're not supposed to, maybe name the kinds of vehicles,
Right.
because, you know, but, and I especially think it's important about the damage to the game room and the gathering room, the equipment and so forth.
Dave? When it says stop sign violations observed, does that mean citations were issued, or did you?
It should be, there's an,
It says that numerous times. I just wondered, you know, were citations really issued?
what's
That's
the-
where a summary would really be nice to have, to say, okay, during last month, we actually issued 35 citations for stop sign violations. Yeah, that ought to be in a summary statement, something like that. But I'm not sure from this what we really,
Well, you have 4 stop signs on
It
page 2.
says citations were issued for that.
Issued, you know, all of these.
okay, good,
Column 3.
So 13 were issued.
That's 20 every morning.
okay.
Pat, I realize there are some people who still don't, but to me, it's also very noticeable.
Dan, I see
People paying more attention, and they are coming out. It's stop signs. It's unbelievable that it's happening. I mean, they call it. I mean, they do.
Some people.
Where? I guess I missed that.
Yeah.
All right, let's not let this drift too much. Pat, I think you proposed to bring this back as an actionable item.
The board feels, yeah, a general discussion of where we are, how we think we're doing.
John, I know you want to see some metrics. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me propose we table this until the December meeting. And maybe, Pat, you could do some advanced thinking on this and put down the questions that you have about where are we?
Okay.
John, you might even start thinking about what kind of metrics you would like to see to measure the value of patrol.
I knew that.
I think it's,
Okay.
you have a service here, and it's very difficult to establish
Absolutely. Absolutely.
a number
Absolutely.
to justify it.
Totally agree.
That's the thing, you can't measure what didn't happen.
Can one of you take the lead on this item? And
Do we want to do that, or do we want, and I'm not trying to push everything on Ray, do we want Ray to have the lead to review where he believes we are in this and what we're doing? And John can feed him some stuff, and I'm not all negative about it, I don't want to come across that way. I just think perhaps we need an update of what we're doing, what we see here.
Can you task the committee to come up with something based on our recommendation, what we're looking for, or do we not really know what we're even looking for?
I'm not sure what
I
committee.
don't know, committee, what could we be? Is that the kind
Yeah, I
of?
don't know who does the compliance issues, the compliance committee.
The actual patrol.
Is that-
Why don't you give me 6
Safety
days?
committee?
Safe.
60 days? The January
Yeah,
meeting?
something like that.
Nobody wants a long meeting in December? Just have January going once, twice? Okay. The only reason I said somebody take the lead on this is if any of the other board members have any input to make, somebody should be collecting all the input and preparing the list of questions that we have. Can you take the lead on this? Okay.
Was that a voluntary?
If any other board members have any comments about patrol and what they would like to know about patrol, just email Pat, let him know, and he'll assemble the issue for the January meeting.
And maybe we want to consider, before we get there, maybe we want to consider the ZEPCON up the road. Depending on where we end up is what we're going to discuss.
Okay. That's satisfactory to everybody? Table till January?